Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
An episode of The Shadow starring Orson Welles and Agnes-Moorehead going all the way back to March 6th, 1938. This episode is entitled The Bride of Death.
The Shadow knows.
Again, Blue Coal Dealers present radio's strangest adventurer, The Shadow. Mystery man who strikes terror into the very hearts of shopsers, lawbreakers, and criminals. Today, Blue Coal brings you The Shadow's latest adventure, The Bride of Death.
Who are you? What do you want to count the money at this hour of the night?
May I come in?
Oh, all right.
I'm the Reverend Colby from the fishing village below. I want to see Mrs. Ackley.
She has retired. Come tomorrow.
I must see her tonight.
Why?
My daughter Isabel is here. She's Mrs. Ackley's companion, but I've come to take her home.
Ah, because Isabel, she does not wish to leave.
I've come to fetch her. I'm a man of the cloth, a man of peace, but I will not leave without her. Let me by.
Arthur, Matar, visitor, stop him.
Yes, master, as you command. Let go of me. Take your hands off me, you heathen devils.
Put him out. Keep him out.
Wait.
Mrs. Ackley.
I will see him. How dare you break into my house this way, Reverend Colby?
Because I will not have my daughter stay in a house that harbors evildoers, Mrs. Ackley. There's talk in the village of heathen rites performed by this man who calls himself Prophet of the Ancient One. This man you've brought to a Christian place from some Asiatic sinkhole of the godless.
Be careful how you speak in the presence of the prophet.
You mean that man there?
Yes, Minister. I am the prophet.
Prophet, where is my daughter Isabel? She is leaving this house on the cliff tonight.
Tell Reverend Colby she does not wish to go. Tell him, Mrs. Ackley.
Your daughter Isabel does not wish to go. Good night, Reverend Colby.
I do not believe you. Let me see her. Let her tell me herself.
She does not wish to see you. Get beyond the iron gates quickly, for in 5 minutes my servants will release my trained guardians.
I'm not afraid of that unholy pack of Black Panthers of yours.
They are dangerous, Minister. Trained in my native land. Trained to hunt and kill animals or men. Go now.
Very well. I'm going, but I'll be back. I'll be back.
Prophet, why do the panthers scream?
It is an omen of death.
Whose death? Tell me. The future is so plain to you. Tell me who is going to die.
I see the minister, Reverend Colby, standing in the pulpit of his church, turning the simple fishing folks against you, Mrs. Ackley.
Reverend Colby is going to die. But how?
The wrath of the Ancient One will strike him down with the voice of thunder and the tongue of fire.
days ago this night, I went to Mrs. Ackley's house on the cliff to bring my own daughter, Isabel Colby, home. I could not see her, could not speak to her. She is lost to me, and therefore let my own sorrow be a warning to those of you in this village whose sons and daughters may go to that house of the devil, to this man who dares desecrate the name of prophet. Now, let us offer a prayer for the mistress of Casamane. Though rich in worldly goods and worldly knowledge, and so long one of us, kindly and generous until of late, and now ailing in mind and spirit, who hath turned from God to follow the pathway of a disciple of Satan. Let us pray. We beseech thee, have mercy on this poor lost one who hath strayed from the fold.
So in the midst of those who perished with him, and whom he loved so well, we return the body of our beloved minister, Reverend Colby. Return him to the earth, ashes unto ashes, dust unto dust.
Here we are, Margot.
Yes, but where, Lamont? The fog's so thick I can't see a thing.
This is the little village where the Reverend Colby and 10 of his parishioners were killed by a mysterious explosion in his church.
Oh, that was horrible. But, Lamont, it happened days ago. What can we do?
Murder has been committed, Margot. Wholesale murder, and the killer or killers are still at large.
But according to the newspaper report...
Yes, I know. The paper said the authorities have been unable to uncover a possible motive. Investigation is hampered by the refusal of the fisher folk of this quaint little village to cooperate.
Perhaps they're afraid to talk, Lamont.
It's surprising what superstition can do.
What about this rich Mrs. Ackley you were talking about, Lamont? Where does she fit into the picture?
I don't know, Margot. All I know is that about 3 months ago she returned from the Far East with a man who calls himself the Prophet. This man claims to be the leader of a cult worshipping a deity known as the Ancient One.
Is there such a cult?
There was, but it was stamped out nearly 5 centuries ago because its ceremonies and rituals included human sacrifice.
Human sacrifice?
Yes.
Oh, how horrible. Then you think there is a connection between this so-called prophet, the destruction of this Christian church, and the murder of Reverend Colby?
Margot, I don't know. I'm going into that cottage down the road. There are some questions.
I'll wait in the car. Oh, that awful foghorn. It gives me the creeps.
You'll be safe here, Margot, but don't get out of the car.
All right.
Now, Lamont Cranston and the Shadow are going to find out something more about this mystery of the house on the cliff.
Someone's at the door. Don't answer.
And why not, Martha? You think it's a ghost from the marshes or that devil from the cliff house? Who's there?
Don't open the door, Seth.
Stranger, I've lost my way in the fog.
Well, tell him there's but one road back to the mainland.
Leave this to me, Martha. Where are you heading for, stranger?
Can you tell me how to get to Mrs. Ackley's place, Casamane?
Yes, I could, but I won't.
Wait, don't close the door. I'd like to ask a few questions.
Questions, huh? Well, ask them, but I'll not warrant an answer to anybody going to that house.
You needn't be afraid of me.
I am Captain Seth. 50 years I've sailed before the mast, and I'm not afeard of man, devil of the sea. Who be you?
I'll tell you this much, Captain Seth. I'm here to put an end to the thing that made your wife afraid to let you open this door.
I can't see you out there in the dark, but...
Yes.
Huh?
Those panthers. They've come down the village again.
What? Panthers? Whose are they?
The prophets. Step into the house, stranger. They'll tear a man to pieces. Well, what ails you, Martha?
The blue light. It's him coming in the gate. He always carries it. It's him, the one that calls himself the prophet.
Well, let him come. Get in the house, stranger. What? Well, Marthy, there's nobody here. Where is that fellow gone? He was here a second ago.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he run for it. Death. What do you suppose that prophet fellow wants of us?
Get away from the door, Marthy. I'll deal with him.
Good evening, my good captain.
Stop where you be. I'll not have the likes of you in my house.
A stranger came here. His car is down the road. The spirit of the Ancient One told me of his coming. Who was the stranger? Where has he gone?
To all your questions, I'll give you one answer. Get your howling beast and your heathen godless self back to the house on the cliff, or I'll blow you to the very door of Hades.
No man threatens the prophet. And
Get out!
Very well, Captain. Since you will not tell me, I will find him. My servants are watching his car. We will find him.
He'll need all the unearthly powers you claim to find a man in this fog. Good night.
I'll find him. He can't be far away.
No. Not far away, but close to you. In the dark shadows of the swirling mist.
Who speaks?
I am looking for a man with blood on his hands. The blood of a minister and 10 innocent people he murdered.
Are you a man hiding in the fog?
Do not try so hard to pierce the fog. You cannot see me, for I am the shadow.
The shadow. A voice without physical presence. Only a voice. No, my friend. In my native India, such things are known, but not here.
The powers of mesmerism have spread beyond the gray monastic walls of the yogi priests. Modern science has advanced their ancient art.
Perhaps, but I am still stronger than you. Strong enough to do what I have set out to do.
And what is that?
I will not tell you, Shadow. And no one, not even you with your borrowed powers, shall stand in my way, for I am the prophet. Prophet of the Ancient One.
Master, the stranger, he does not return to the automobile, but a young woman is there waiting for him.
So, could it be, Shadow, that you are the stranger we seek, that your companion waits for you? Back up.
Yes, master.
Go quickly, I will follow. Seize the girl. She will be useful to us. Very useful. If I cannot reach the Shadow, I can reach his companion.
Yes, master. Macau and the Panthers watch her. She will not escape.
Do you hear, Shadow?
Yes, I hear.
Save her if you can. You say you are a man. If that is true, then my Panthers will smell you out whether they can see you or not. There's the car. Aka, seize the girl.
Macau at the girl. Matana low. Now very careful.
Cover him up, you fools. Take her to the house on the cliff. We will keep her with Isabel Colby. She shall be tortured until she tells us what she knows.
March 6, 1938, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of The Shadow as it was broadcast March 6, 1938.
Prophet servants bring you here to Mrs. Ackley's house? I don't know. But who are you and why are they keeping you locked up in this room? Oh, I'm Isabel Colby. My father was Reverend Colby, the minister of the little fishing village down the cove. He's dead. They've murdered him. Yes, I know. But you, why are you here? I used to be Mrs. Ackley's companion and secretary before she brought this man, the prophet, to the house. But now, that Hindu has some sort of hold over her mind. He calls her a high priestess. And she let him lock me up in here. Oh, how terrible, Miss Colby. What is happening in this house to Mrs. Ackley and to you? I don't know. It has something to do with a ceremony that the prophet says he and Mrs. Ackley must perform. The climax of some strange religious ritual they go through day after day in Mrs. Ackley's private chapel. He's changed it into a place he calls the Temple of the Ancient One. This morning, he came here and said, I am to be what he calls the bride of death. They're going to take me to that temple tonight.
Do you know why?
Yes. To kill me.
Oh, no.
Mrs. Ackley, as the high priestess, is going to sacrifice me to that horrible deity they worship.
Don't give up hope, Isabel. There's still a chance we'll get out of this place, both of us. Oh, Lamont, why don't you come before it's too late? Maybe this is...
Aka, unlock the door.
Don't let them take me. Don't.
Isabel Colby, the time has come. The high priestess is waiting to perform her ceremony in the temple of the ancient one.
No.
Masawa. Yes, master. Take the girl Isabel to the shrine. Tell the high priestess to prepare the girl and herself for the wedding of death. Come. My master commands.
No. I won't get your hand off me, Colby.
See the strange girl.
Let go of me.
Yes, master. I kill her now. No. Masawa. Take the girl Isabel to the shrine. Wait there for me. Prepare the sacred fires. Purify the sword of the ancient one. The sacrificial altar is ready. And death is waiting for his bride. Yes, master.
No, you're going to murder me like you murdered my father.
Now, strange girl, I will deal with you.
No, Prophet. You will deal with me. The Shadow.
Thank heavens you've come.
You, the Shadow here? How? There are panthers chained at every door.
It was easy, Prophet.
Oh, I knew the shadow would come. I knew he couldn't be far away.
Oh, you do know the Shadow. This slinking coward who fears to show himself, who hides himself in the shadows.
Shadow, the prophet is going to kill Reverend Colby's daughter. He's going to make Mrs. Ackley kill her in some fantastic ceremony.
Yes. In a few minutes she will be dead and you cannot stop it.
Clever scheme. You've numbed the failing mind of Mrs. Ackley with drugs. Made her do your will, sign a fortune over to you.
Your knowledge will not help you now, Shadow.
You plan to have Mrs. Ackley commit murder, turn her over to the police, blame her for the death of Reverend Colby, and with a fortune in your hands, discard your role of prophet and disappear.
You are clever, Shadow. Yes, that is my plan. It is a pity such a mind as yours will soon be lost to the world. Within an hour, after Mrs. Ackley has obligingly murdered the girl Isabel, this house will burn. A tank of gasoline in the cellar will explode. And this will be the funeral pyre of the Shadow and his beautiful young companion. But I must go now. They are waiting for me.
You are not going through that door. It is locked.
You lie. It is. Aka!
They cannot hear you. They're waiting for you in the temple, and I have the key to the door.
You are not too clever, Shadow. Give me the key to the door or I shoot this girl.
Take that gun away from her head.
Throw the key upon that table, quick.
Don't give him the key. I'm not afraid of him.
I shall count to 3, Shadow. If I don't get the key, it's a pity. But this beautiful girl shall die. 1.
You wouldn't.
2. 3. You are wise, Shadow.
You fiendish devil. I'll show you the Shadow can do more than warn, threaten. Take that!
Oh, Lamont. Oh, Lamont, are you all right?
Yes, but I'm afraid I knocked the prophet out cold. Now, go take that key. Get out of here. Down the hall is a door. Take the prophet's gun. Drive to that cottage I visited tonight. Get Captain Zest to call the villagers. Tell them they can help to avenge the murder of their friend.
What are you going to do? They may kill Isabel before I can get help.
Never mind. You hurry and get help.
All right, I'll go. I'll get Captain Zest to round up the people of the village, and then I'll come back.
Very well, Margot. I may need your help. Come back to this room.
I'll be back in a few minutes. Lamont.
Yes, Margot?
I saw Captain Zest. The people of the village are coming. He's calling them together.
I can't wait for him, Margot. Beyond that door, at the head of the stairs, Death is waiting for Isabel Colby. The prophet's followers are there awaiting his appearance.
But the prophet's still lying here, unconscious on the floor.
Nevertheless, he will not disappoint them.
Lamont, I don't understand.
Margot, I'm going to ask you to do a very dangerous thing. I want you to put on the prophet's robe, cover your face with a hood, and walk in there as the prophet.
Very well, I'll do anything I can. You know that.
Do not show your face till you reach the altar. Don't speak. Keep close to Isabel Colby. Watch Mrs. Ackley and leave the rest to me.
Yes, Lamont, I understand. I'm ready.
Lasi Kalavara. Kalavara. Metanalo. Sadamo. O ancient one, vision of eternal life, before thy altar the youthful maiden waits. Thy ancient sword hath spirit to release unto thine own.
The conclusion of The Shadow, The Bride of Death, from March 6, 1938, comes up following these important messages from your favorite radio station. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Orson Welles was the Shadow for only 1 year in 1938, 37-38. Bill Johnstone replaced him, voiced the character for 5 seasons. Brent Morrison, 10 years in 2 separate runs. John Archer, Stephen Courtley all portrayed the Shadow. And by the way, Agnes-Moorehead played even less time. She was only on the regular season, not the summer series. The summer series, Margot Lane, was portrayed by actress Margot Stevenson. And that was it. And yet those two are probably best acknowledged in the roles that they portrayed on The Shadow. Okay, the conclusion now, The Shadow, The Bride of Death, March 6, 1938.
Her blood is pledged, her soul is thine. Metanalo etilasi, Kalavara Sadamort. All is in readiness, master.
Metawa, look. The hood covers the master's face. The hour has come for the ritual to begin.
See, master. The girl Isabel is lashed to the altar of the Ancient One. The sacred fires burn in the jeweled torches. All is in readiness, master. All as you have commanded. Metawa, bring Mrs. Ackley. Prepare her to make the sacrifice.
I am ready. Ready to do the will of the prophet. To plunge this sword into the girl's heart. But I am afraid. Help me. Give me the sacred drug to give me strength. The will to do the things you have told me I must do. If I am to be high priestess to the Ancient One.
Look, Matawa. It is strange. The master does not speak. Does not answer us. He goes to the shrine alone. Wait. He turns. He is lifting the hood of his robes. Look. It is not the prophet. It is a beautiful girl. It is the strange girl. The one the master stayed below to question about the shadow.
What has happened to our master? Why do you wear the robes of the prophet?
Metawa, you have been tricked. The man you serve as a god is a rogue, a charlatan, a fake.
That voice, Metawa. That is not the voice of the prophet. It is not the strange girl speaking. See, her lips have not moved.
No. It is the voice of the shadow.
The shadow. The master warned us to beware of the shadow, Aka.
McTower, the master must be dead. The shadow has killed him.
Prophet, the time has come. I must drive this sword into the hearts of the bride of death. I will not fail.
Don't do it. They're tricking you, making you murder me. Then they'll kill you.
No,
they'll kill you.
No, I shall be a high priestess. I shall live forever like the prophets, like the ancient ones.
Mrs. Ackley! Mrs. Ackley! Drop that sword. Drop that sword, Mrs. Ackley. Drop it, I say.
Drop the sword. Yes, drop the sword. Oh,
Aka, look! This shadow has broken the master's power over this woman.
I am free now. Free of the spell. Oh, what have I done?
He is stronger than the master. We must escape. We must get away.
You will never get away. Never leave this house.
Aka! The prophet.
That guy is my nose. Throw your knife. Kill her. Kill her, I command you.
No. No, prophet. We obey you no more.
Obey me. You trick us, make us kill. Say you are the true prophet of the ancient one. You defy me. Don't. Drop the knife.
See, the blood runs in his veins. He tells us he cannot die. Now we shall see.
You fools. Now the shadow will destroy you.
He is dead. The shadow spoke the truth, McTower. He was not the true prophet. The true prophet of the ancient one was blessed with life, everlasting.
You are right, Aka.
Quick, we must get away from this shadow.
You cannot escape for long. Your sins will find you out.
Isabel!
Oh,
Colby, you're safe.
safe. Oh, thank you. But won't you tell me who you are?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I must remain anonymous until my work is finished. I will have to continue being known only as the Shadow.
You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many stories which appear in the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious, and a similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
As you sow evil, so shall you reap evil. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
March 6, 1938, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And with a tip of the hat to our friend Ted at RadioMemories.com, who supplied our new series of Lum-and-Abner episodes, we are going to hear Lum-and-Abner. And this episode from March 6th, 1953, as they work on a new show for Mose Moose's Barber Shop. Let's see if Mose approves of this one.
Granny's, Abner, I believe that's our ring.
Aye, Doggy's Lum, I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, Jot 'em Down store. This is Lum-and-Abner.
And now let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge.
Dick Huddleston reporting. Well, Lum-and-Abner didn't do it again. Their sponsor, Mose Moose, the barber, still isn't happy. In fact, yesterday he was just about the unhappiest man in Pine Ridge. Lum-and-Abner put on a daytime serial for Mose, and it was such a tearjerker that it might nigh tore Mose's heart to pieces. The old fellas are getting near the giving up stage as they talk things over in their Jot 'em Down store.
No, we're just going to rehearse today, Abner. We ain't going on the air with no programs of no kind till we know Mose Moots is going to be happy with it.
Well, Doggies, in that case, Lum, we never will get on air. That varmint ain't happy about nothing we put on so far.
I know it, and it's hurting our radio business, too. All our other sponsors are just sitting around waiting to see if we can study up a good program for Mose before they come in on it.
There, huh?
Yeah, Mose is sort of a sponsor guinea pig, you might say.
That's just the way I'm beginning to feel about him. You can leave the guinea off.
And if we don't give Mose a show that satisfies him, we might just as well drop right out of the radio business.
Dogged, I'd hate to do that. Hate to see all my acting talents going to waste here.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to take my golden voice off the air just when I'm getting to be such a big favorite.
Favorite?
Why, sure. All over town they're talking about my announcing.
I know they are. You ought to hear what they're saying.
Well, I try not to listen. I don't want to get conceited over this.
You won't.
No, I reckon not. I'm pretty level-headed about such things.
Yeah, if you ain't level-headed now, you will be. I've heard more folks say they're going to whop you on top of the head if you don't get off the air and start drowning out all them other programs.
Oh, well, they'll get used to that. Quick as we get a lot of programs on the air, folks in Pine Ridge will like them so much they won't want to listen to them other shows.
What is this programmer going to rehearse for Mose?
Oh, it's called Pine Ridge Princess.
Huh?
It's sort of a contest among a bunch of women folks, and whichever one comes off the best gets to ask for something she'd rather have more than anything else, and then we try to get it for her.
How in the world will that advertise Moses' barber shop?
I don't know. That was Moses' idea. And he wanted to have the dad-blamedest idea in there. I might not ashamed to tell it to you. I talked him out of that, though.
Good. What was his idea?
Oh, he wanted us to get in touch with some circus or carnival and get hold of a bearded lady and let her get to be the Pine Ridge Princess for that day.
A bearded lady? What in the world for?
Well, so when we asked her what she wanted worse than anything else, she'd say, a shave at Mose Moots's barber shop.
Hi, Doggins, that's a good idea.
Why, Abner, that's the silliest thing in the world.
Well, he'd shave her right out of a job, though, I'll say that for her. Reckon we could get hold of one?
Well, we ain't going to do it, I'll tell you that. The idea's out.
Oh.
I told him he might know about the barbering business, but we know about the radio business, so just let us figure it out.
Good for you.
So I wrote out some scripts for this program, and me and you are going to rehearse it right now.
Well, now, hold on, Lum. I ain't going to be no princess. I can tell you that right here and now.
Well, you don't need to be. I'm going to get a batch of women folks in here. One of them's going to be chose as princess. You're going to be the announcer.
Me? I thought you was the announcer, the feller that grins while he talks.
Well, not on this show. I'm the mister of ceremonies.
Huh?
He's the fella that sort of runs things, gets off all them smart remarks and carries on, jollies the women folks.
You going to do that?
Oh, I'm a natural for that. You know how I get along with the women folks. Have them dying laughing half of the time.
I never noticed it.
Just my dynamo personalities, I reckon. I don't know what it is, hardly. Well, let's run over the scripts and see how it sounds.
Is this me where it says announcer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just wish we had somebody around here that we could use for the contestants.
Well, I'm going to be too busy being a golden voice announcer, Lum, to do that. I'll tell you.
Howdy, character.
Oh, Doggins, Lum, there's somebody we can use. Come in here, Cedric.
Yeah, come here, Cedric. You can help us out here.
Yeah?
Well, I ain't got time now, Mr. Lum. I just come in to get a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah, we'll give you the peanut butter later on. We need a princess right now.
Mom?
Yeah, Cedric, we want you to be a housewife.
A housewife?
Yeah.
Well, do you think I'm the right type?
Well, you'll do for now. Let's say it's your Mrs. Fremont of Hatfield.
Well, all I want's a jar of peanut butter.
Well, you get it, Cedric.
Chunk style.
All right, Abner, start reading your part there.
Oh. Hello. This is the brand new Mose Moot Show, Pine Ridge Princess, coming to you from the glamorous setting of the Jot 'em Down store.
Could I have my peanut butter?
Quite, Miss Fremont. And here's your Mister of Ceremonies, the man with the dominoes.
Dynamo.
Oh, Dynamo's personality, your fiend and mine.
That's friend.
Laughing Lum-Eddards.
Hi there, everybody. And a special hi to the women of the Grand Council who are sitting here on our stage.
Where? I don't see them.
Of course not. This is just a rehearse.
Oh.
Could I have my peanut butter, please, Mom?
Shut up, Miss Fremont.
Abner, that ain't no way to talk to our candidate. Once again, we have a batch of candidates for the Pine Ridge Princess. Parks Peabody will bring them up to the microphone.
Parks Peabody? Who's that? One of my relays?
That's you.
Oh.
I give you a new name because, Well, I don't know. Abner just don't sound like the name of a big-time announcer somewhere or other. Sounds sort of country.
Country? Lum-Eddards, I've lived might nigh all my life right here in the city of Pine Ridge, and I've always used that name.
Well, I thought a name like Parks would give the program a little class.
Abner's a lot classier, I'll say that.
And one of these candidates is going to have 24 gold hours here in Pine Ridge. Also a bunch of other junk. Now, here's our first candidate. All right, will you bring her up here, Parks Peabody?
Huh? Come on, Cedric.
And read your script.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Eddards, this is Ms., you ain't got nothing else wrote down here.
Well, you're supposed to put in whoever's name it is there.
Oh.
I'll carry on from here. How do you do, madam? That's you, Cedric.
Mo.
Welcome to Mose Moots's Pine Ridge Princess. And what is your name?
Cedric.
No, your name's Miss Fremont. Don't you know nothing?
Oh, I never knowed it was changed.
It is.
Well, we're surely glad to have you with us today, Miss Fremont. Where are you from?
Oh, I ain't from no place. This is where I live, right here.
Tell him you're from Hatfield.
Oh, well, he'll never believe that. He knows better.
Well, try him anyway.
I'm from Hatfield.
Well, good.
But don't go. He believed me.
Well, he's supposed to, Cedric. He's a mister of ceremonies.
By the way, Abner, whenever Miss Fremont says Hatfield, why, we stop there and have a lot of hand clapping.
Why?
I don't know. That's just one of the rules of radio. Anytime anybody says the name of a hometown, everybody's got to clap their hands. All right, Miss Fremont, are you married?
Mom.
How many children do you have?
Who, me?
Well, Miss Fremont, it's been just awful glad talking to you. All right, Abner, bring up the next candidate.
Cedric's the only one we got.
Oh, yeah. In the regular show, we'll have a whole batch of women.
Yeah.
For now, we'll say Miss Fremont win the contest for Pine Ridge Princess.
Well, good for Miss Fremont. What's she do now, Lum?
Well, just stand there while I say some more junk here.
Oh.
Parks Peabody, has the Grand Council chose the princess?
Yes, they has.
Well, good. Folks, this is the big, exciting moment of the whole show. So just hold on to your hats. All right, who is the winner, Parks Peabody?
The winner is Mrs., no name down here.
Well, put in Miss Fremont's name.
Oh, the winner is Mrs. Fremont of Hatfield.
Congratulations, Mrs. Fremont. Parks Peabody, get the princess ready for the big crowning.
Yes, sir, Laughing Lum-Eddards. Here, Mrs. Fremont, put on this crimson velvet kimono.
Oh, now, just wait a minute.
You got to put it on, Cedric. That's what the script says.
Oh, for God's sake, I feel silly.
Well, you look silly, to be honest.
That's fine. Now, crown Miss Fremont, Parks Peabody.
All right.
Oh.
So hard, Abner. Careful with that crown.
I believe that crown's a little big, comes clean down over his eyes.
And now for the exciting moment. I now pronounce you Princess Cedric, Princess of Pine Ridge.
Hooray! Hooray!
Princess Cedric, you are now the happiest lady in the land.
Emma?
Today you will ride in a streamlined buggy rented from Ira Hodgkin's liver stable. Go ahead and read your next line there, Abner.
Oh, and you will carry a beautiful bunch of goldenrod flowers picked special by Mose Moots himself.
And you will be gave 2 dippers of ice cream, 1 vanilla and 1 strawberry, at Ed Beckley's drugstore and soda fountain.
And you will get your lovely golden hair shampooed at Mose Moots' barber shop.
And you will get a lucky horseshoe nail ring made special for your dainty little finger at Caleb Weehunt's blacksmith shop.
And around your pretty white neck will be put a strand of genuine imitation pearls, one on the punch board in Dad Crockett's pastime pool hall and snooker palace.
And you will get a free calendar from Mose Moots's barber shop.
And your pretty little feet will be shod in a pair of black low-cut 3-button Oxfords with built-in arch supports from the Jot 'em Down store.
And your pretty legs will be made prettier with a pair of best-grade genuine cotton lisle stockings, plain or ribbed, from Dick Huddleston's store.
And another shampoo from Mose Moots's barber shop.
And a double-bladed chopping axe and a washboard from the Jot 'em Down store.
And a sack of high-grade pullet mash from Ezra C. Strunk's feed store.
And you will be escorted to the annual Eagles Lodge 4th of July picnic, box supper, and dance, if it's held this year, by Lum-Eddards.
Doggers, that's a long way away.
And again, she gets a look at me. She'll wait.
Yeah, well, give her time to think up an excuse anyway. And And when you go to this dance, you will be all got up in a lovely checkered Mother Hubbard made by the women's sewing circle.
And another shampoo at Mose Moots's barbershop.
If her dancing with you, she'll need it.
And to top it all off, Princess Cedric, you will be taken on a sightseeing trip all over Pine Ridge. And now, Princess, I'm going to ask you the question everybody's waiting for me to ask you.
Hot dog.
Princess Cedric, what do you want more than anything else in the whole world?
Oh, a jar of peanut butter.
Huh?
Chunk style.
Well, I hope Princess Cedric gets his jar of chunk peanut butter. There you go. Lum-and-Abner from March 6th, 1953 here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks to Ted at RadioMemories.com for supplying these great shows to us. He can get you shows on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer. Contact Ted at RadioMemories.com. That is RadioMemories.com. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Would you please thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Appreciate you. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single episode of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. All of our shows are available on demand at our webpage. That is classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me there, find our social media links. And if you're so inclined, you can buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money goes toward acquiring additional classic radio collections and keeping our distribution channels up and running. That is at my webpage, classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.